Breach.
Welcome into our next leg of our race around the world here at the Pitstop Pals, part of the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver.
My name is Bruce Heller. It's fun to put
In this,
question marks at the end of sentences that don't need it sometimes.
oh, I know. And this is our rewatch episode for season 16, episode 6 of The Amazing Race, entitled Kathy Drone? Question mark.
Hmm.
Who do
No,
you think
I
said
don't know
that?
who said
Do
it.
you remember who said that?
Nope.
It was Jordan. Boy Jordan.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to understand what the French lady was saying, and they thought she was saying cathedron instead of cathedral.
That's true. That's it.
Do you have any quotes for this episode, Bruce?
Yes, I do. For the second week in a row, I have more than I normally do.
I'm
I'm
so
getting
proud of
better at
you.
this.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm starting it off with another just kind of, I'm not going to say dumb, but ditzy girl Jordan quote. I thought Joan of Arc was a guy. She said that, and then immediately Jeff responds, Joan of Arc was a girl. Why do you think her name is Joan?
Hmm.
I have, if you can find a good looking person to give you directions, it helps, or it doesn't hurt. And then they said later, the lesson in this leg is don't always trust a pretty face. So,
Yep.
guess it does hurt. If I can find crack in someone's rear end, I can find grapes in a vineyard. I have Steve talking to Phil at the finish line and said, I have a car out there that I hope you guys insured.
Mm-hmm.
And Phil's face was kind of hilarious when he said
Yeah.
Phil looked super concerned.
Yeah, like he didn't already know.
I also have Jeff walking through a vineyard at night and he says, what are we doing this for? To teach kids to stay in school? I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
That's what I heard. Yeah, I wrote that too.
why did they
Actually, I've
not
written
get
all of the ones you've
eliminated,
said.
by the way? Everyone finished and they were still at the vineyard.
Yeah, I'll speak to that when we get there. But every quote you've said, I've also had. This is hilarious.
Wow, this is more than I usually have. I went through a phase there where I was bad about quotes, but
Right.
I'm getting better.
Yeah. So is that all?
Yes.
Okay. I have it elaborated a little bit. Or hang on for a second. How do you make champagne? Do you just take wine and add club soda? That was Dan. And then the Jeff and Jordan, Joan of Arc thing. Jordan said, Joan of Arc, he carried all the animals. To which Jeff responded, she, that was Noah. No wonder we're in last.
I forgot about all the animals thing. That makes it so much worse and funnier.
Yeah, I think you mixed people up because they weren't the only ones that had a conversation similar to that. And I think the one that you referenced was actually Brent and Katie.
Oh, I was guessing. I forgot to write it down, so probably.
Yeah. Um,
Mixing it up with Noah is worse than just saying you thought she was a guy, though.
yeah. We are following a nice French man in a Porsche through France. It doesn't get any better than this, Michael.
Fair enough.
I got like you said, the lesson in this leg of the race is don't always trust a pretty girl. Dan. Another one you said, if I can find crack in someone's rear end, I can find grapes in a vineyard. I got Brandy saying, I wonder if the children are happier here because they're around people that are drinking champagne.
I remember that, and I remember being confused by that.
Mm. Steve says, hopefully these grapes will pop out to me like the curb did.
Oh my gosh, that car.
And then he actually asks the vine guy, "Are you a mechanic?" when he delivers the grapes to him.
Why would he be a mechanic? What are we doing, Steve? Just what are we doing?
I don't know, but I love how like light-hearted he was about the fact that he just ruined this car.
Yeah.
I've got like you said, I've got a car out there. I hope you guys have insured.
And then they panned to Phil's face, which was just great.
I have a feeling that we're gonna get some calls from around the world for Dan and I to build champagne towers for bar and bat mitzvahs, and we want them to know we're available from Jordan.
Weren't they one of the teams that knocked it over?
No, they did
Uh,
not. Dan and Jordan, not Jeff and Jordan.
there's too many Jordans.
Not anymore. But Dan said, but we are expensive, and Jordan said very expensive.
There.
And then wrapping it all up with the same one that you did. What are we doing, or what are we doing this for? To teach kids to stay in school,
I just want to know where that came from.
right?
That's so random.
So randoms from Disney Channel. That's not this.
The show within a show that became its own show.
Yeah. All right, so let's recap the episode here. We started out the episode with the clue that says we have to drive 37 miles to Reims, France. Or Reims, France, however you want to say it.
Rhymes Cathedral.
Reims is the name of the town, too.
Ah, okay. Well,
Um, what?
that doesn't rhyme.
You don't rhyme.
Sam, I am. I do not want green eggs again.
Where they have to find the Joan of Arc statue where a street musician has their next clue.
Clue.
And we
What do you do? I can rhyme.
you're a poet and didn't know it.
Word bird.
You can rhyme anytime.
Yeah.
And this is where we have the cathedron or versus cathedral. Do French people actually say cathedron or do they say cathedral? Do they have their own name for churches in France? Are they just called cathedrons?
Not to my knowledge, but I don't have a ton of French knowledge, honestly.
That's fair.
I know the Eiffel Tower and baguettes.
We. Um. Anyway, once you get to the Joan of Arc statue and the street musician gives you their clue, you get this little cork that says Champagne La Claire Bryant on it.
Yes.
And most people go ask where they're supposed to go. Jet and Cord instead say, man, there's a town 40 kilometers from here called Champagne. Let's go there. And then they get there and they find out that they were very much in the wrong place. They needed to go to a town called Epernay. And so they ended up in this town in Champagne, 60 kilometers away from where they needed to be. Um, but once you get to Champagne-la-Claire-Brilliant in Epernay, it's roadblock time, and the roadblock is who's ready to cave in.
Yes.
Repel and search. Do you want to explain it, Bruce?
This looks fun. You rappel over 100 feet into the cellars and you find a champagne bottle that's specially marked and you bring it back up top, up these stairs. And when you get up there, you slice the cork off and the clue comes shooting out.
With a saber.
I want one.
No. But which one of us is doing the roadblock?
I can do it or you can do it. I'm not going to fight you either way.
That's fair. I just didn't know if you could psych yourself up to do the rappelling.
Your rappelling's not bad. It's slow. It's not like bungee jumping or something.
But it's heights, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not always bad about heights. Sometimes it's fine.
Generally, you tell me you're bad about heights.
The way I describe it is I'm not afraid of heights. I'm whatever the next level below that is. So like I'm fine sometimes. This looks fun.
Okay.
The bungee jumping
So
that we watched looks terrible by comparison.
I think that'd be fun.
I think it's a speed thing also. Like
I
rappelling
mean, if you,
myself down slowly where I can control it with the ropes versus just jumping off a bridge.
yeah, I mean, so I think it'd probably just come down to whoever had done less roadblocks would probably do this roadblock
Yeah.
because both of us are okay with it. But like, I would let you have it if I had done more, or
Yeah.
I'd push to do it if you'd done more, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Since there's a limit. So the roadblock competitors were Boy Jordan, Louie, Steve, Brandy, Cord, Brent, and Jeff. And once you get through all of that and you break open your wine bottle, your next clue is this little piece of paper that says Tadinger La Marqueterie. I
Yeah.
said that very wrong. And the fact of the matter
Pronunciation.
is,
This is a terrible episode for us trying to have to try to pronounce words.
La
Like
Marqueterie. It's probably like La Marqueterie.
French, it looks hard to learn and pronounce. There's so many X's and like letters in weird places, and I couldn't pronounce half of the words he was saying, whether it was like the pit stop or the vineyard place or it's a bad week for pronunciation.
Well, I know that the name of the village that Tadinger La Mater, or La Marquerie, is in Pierre, or how did he say that? Paris. Paris. Pierry. Paris. But the problem is that about 50% of the people that you talk to will tell you that Tadinger La Marquerie or La Marquerie is in Rhymes. And then you get to Rhymes and they tell you no, where you need to go is in Paris. So that was a problem. Another problem, but anyway, once you get there, it's a chateau and vineyard in Paris where you'll find your next club. Anyway, Brent and Katie are arguing up a storm here. It's bad.
Yeah.
Are you here?
I'm here, you were talking.
Yeah, and then I made a comment and then you just stared at me like,
And then I said, yeah, it's bad. I don't like that they're fighting.
fair enough. Um, Michael and Louie got a guy to lead them all the way to Tadinger Lamarqueterie.
I just wrote down Tadinger. I didn't even try with the rest of it.
That's fair. They got a guy to, but if you just have Tadinger, then
Yeah.
they'll send you to Rhymes.
Yeah. Or you'll end up at a place called Tadinger. That's not the right place.
But it's not. But the thing is, they sell what they make at Tadinger La Marquerie. That's why people are getting it confused. They do correlate.
Yeah.
It's not just some other. It's not like the uh, Booza bar in season 38 where there's just two Booza bars.
Yeah.
These are like it's like you know it's like in Carthage, Illinois, Lake Hill Winery makes the wine, and then they sell it at County Market.
Yeah.
So you go to County Market to get what they make at Lake Hill Winery. You go to Tadinger to get what they make at Tadinger
There's also a store that I know people go to that I know called Dot Foods. That is not the same Dots as Dots Pretzels. They have the same name though. So
It's also a factory in
I love Dot's pretzels. They have so many
And
cool flavors.
no, I just mean Dot Food. Dot
Oh, I
Food.
know. I got myself thinking about the pretzels though.
Yeah.
Like their
It's less a,
original seasoning is addictive. The garlic parm is good. Like other than the honey mustard, they don't miss.
the cinnamon sugar is the best.
Yeah. And like the honey mustard's not bad. It's just too mustardy for my taste.
Mm. I
But
bet you Dylan Reese would love it.
shout out Dot's Pretzels. Please sponsor us and send us all of your flavors.
I only want your cinnamon sugar.
Yeah.
Bruce can eat the rest.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
let's see here. So once you get to Tattinger La Marguerite, it is detour time, and we our detour is Tower or Terra. You explain Tower or Terra?
Tower is you use 680 glasses to build a tower 15 levels high that has to only have one glass at the top level, and then you fill them all. And Terra is you search a square kilometer of a vineyard for a small grape cluster that's marked with amazing race colors.
Yeah. And the people who do Tower are Dan and Jordan. We also have Brent and Katie and Jeff and Jordan who attempted at one point. Don't succeed. Um, then Tara would then be everybody else. Michael and Louie, Brandy and Carol, Steve and Allie, Brent and Katie, Jeff and Cord, Brent and Katie again, Jeff and Jordan. We're doing Tara.
Oh, absolutely. I was gonna get into an argument with here if you wanted to do tower. There's no chance I'm doing that glass tower thing.
No, we are both. I mean, I'm not gonna do great at it, and you're like a bull in a china shop.
I'm clumsy, but also math. Like having to figure out how many glasses to put on each level so you end with
Oh,
only one on top. No, thank you.
I could do that part. I'm a math whiz.
Okay, well that looks terrible, but also the glass, and then if I don't knock it over trying to, if neither of us knock it over trying to stack it, standing there holding a bucket-sized bottle of champagne. Yeah, that tower looks
Exactly.
terrible. I want no part of that.
Yeah. You're like a bull in a china shop, and I stand by that. What was that?
Threw a pen across my office.
Why?
I guess I just felt the need to prove your point that I was destructive.
Fair enough.
I kind of just acted on impulse and let the intrusive thoughts win. It's fun to do that sometimes.
All right, so Steve screws his car up.
Yeah, he does.
He goes up on a curb, and he must have been going at a pretty good clip for the damage that was done.
Yeah, that and he tried to drive with it, and then they realized it was bent into the wheel,
Yeah, and so they pull over, and he's working on it.
and he fixes it
And
with duct tape.
yeah, he had duct tape in his bag. His wife said, "Hey, duct tape fixes anything. Threw it in there." Duct tape fixed the car that we hope is insured. Um, I hope it's insured for many, whether he hits a curb or not, I hope it's insured because otherwise that would be illegal.
Yeah,
Um, we see our first people finish the detour as Michael finds the grapes and tells us about finding people, cracking people's butts. Um, and we find out that we have to drive to La Roca, which is the pit stop of this leg of the race. And then we get strategy talk
I guess
from
the pronunciations aren't as bad as I remember. La Roca, but I didn't
mhm,
even try to write down the second part of the winery name.
mhm. we had strategy talk here from Dan and Jordan as they talk about how uh, in a luck challenge versus a skill challenge, always choose the skill. How do you feel about that?
When the skill challenge is stacking glass cups, I disagree. I
But
think
like
it
as an
depends on the
overall
challenge.
strategy, how do you feel about that?
I don't know that you can just have that as a blanket strategy all the time. It depends on what they are.
Most of the time I would agree with it though. Like I mean, think about like haystack.
Yeah, to be fair, both of those sucked. Like the wood stack was also terrible, but it was way better. But like this one,
Woodstack, how is Woodstack bad? I don't understand why you have such a disdain for Woodstack.
I don't
It's
have a
literally
disdain
just
for it.
hauling logs of wood in a wheelbarrow.
I forgot it was a wheelbarrow. I thought they were like wearing them on a backpack or something for some reason. I thought they
Wait,
were actually carrying them.
wait, was it a backpack or was it a wheelbarrow?
I don't know, but it just takes forever.
Yeah, but that's a lot of challenges. I mean, I don't think you realize how much time they spend at these challenges. It's way more than what we see on TV.
Yeah, no, yeah, the wood is not nearly as bad as the head. But look at the skill and the luck one this time. The skill one is clearly worse, for us at least. I think it depends on the team also.
Right. I think that you just have to have an attention to detail though, because with this specific luck-based one, I feel like it would be very easy to miss it.
Oh, I'd be bad at that too, just not as bad as I would at the other
Fair enough.
one.
All right, Michael and Louie are team number one. Once again, three in a row. They win a 5-night trip to Cancun.
This is insane. I sat here and said that I thought they were in trouble and might go home next because they were second to last one week. And they've won three in a row since I said that.
Yep.
They're purposely trying to make me look bad, I think.
Then we have Brandy and Carol who come in second here. And we see Brent and Katie think they caught up to them, run to the pit stop before they'd even done the detour.
Yeah, again,
Why did they think that they were ready to check in?
I don't know, but just last episode we had them arrive at the pit stop and they didn't have a clue for it, so they had to go back. Like, make sure you're ready to go before you go, guys. It doesn't seem
Hmm.
that hard.
Exactly.
At least last week they didn't just skip an entire challenge.
All right, so they went to the detour after this, and Katie really wanted to do the stacking, but they did the grapes because Brent wanted them to, and then Katie complained about it for the whole time.
Yeah.
And then they switch, and then they get all the way stacked, are pouring their stack, and it falls, and a bunch of them break, and they have to end up back in the vineyard anyway.
Yeah.
And then Katie has to take everything back and apologize because Brent was right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve and Allie are team number three here.
Despite having to stop and take forever to fix their car, they still finished third.
Yes. And then we go back to Dan and Jordan as they are stacking their tower. And they stacked their last three rows one high each row. That looked sketchy as hell.
Uh-huh.
Jet and Cord are team number four. Then we have Jeff and Jordan finally get to the detour and decide to do the tower because Brent and Katie were doing Terra. Brent and Katie could have been the ones going home if Jeff and Jordan would have went to Terra from the start. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they ended up going to Terra because their tower fell as well. But not in time because Dan and Jordan come in fifth, and then Jeff and Jordan switch, and then Brent and Katie come in sixth place, and Jeff and Jordan find themselves searching in the dark for this grape. And I'm sitting here waiting for Phil to show up, like you were asking about earlier. And in my head, I'm thinking, all right, Phil's not showing up. There's no Phil elimination. That means we have to have another NEL. I thought Jeff and Jordan were about to get by again.
Yeah.
And then they get there just for Phil to regularly eliminate them. I don't understand.
Usually, when everyone else is finished and someone's still at a challenge, he goes to them.
Yeah. And when he didn't, I really thought we were having an NEL.
Yeah.
But here we see Jeff and Jordan are the seventh place team here being eliminated from the amazing race. But they're in such a good mood. I can't help but love these guys.
Yeah.
And I hate to see them go because Brent and Katie are starting to annoy me. And Jeff and Jordan are so positive.
I fear they're gonna be like the diet version of Ron and Kelly, where I spend most of the season liking them, and then at the end of the season, the arguing becomes insufferable, and I don't want to see them again.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
it's
think
not
Kate
gonna reach that level, but
I,
that's what it's starting to remind me of.
I don't think Katie's ever gonna.
Yeah, that the one quote aside, like just the arguing and the constant at each other. Like I see it trending that direction, and I already don't like it.
That's fair. Especially if you look at next time on, because as they go to Seychelles, Brent and Katie are at it again, and Brent threatens to quit.
That's insane.
We'll see what happens. Are you ready for power rankings though, Bruce?
Sure.
I feel like we're gonna be pretty in step, except for I think I'm predicting one difference, as in like two teams, like a flip flop.
Yeah.
Who do you have in sixth?
Sixth place is Brent and Katie. I don't have a good feeling about them. And if it's gonna reach a boiling point of him threatening to quit, then that's also not very good.
Yeah, I also think it's Brent and Katie. They have not given me reason to think that they are getting any better at this race. They started the race great. Since they've got to the back of the pack, they just continue blunder after blunder after blunder, and they're arguing, and that's gonna really just affect their morale and movement forward. I do not like their spot right now.
Yeah.
Fifth place.
Fifth place is going to be Dan and Jordan.
Yep, me too.
They're fun, they're entertaining, they have funny lines. I just don't think they can keep up with everyone else.
Yeah, I like them, and I don't. I for some reason I don't think. For some reason, I don't know. They gave me vibes at the beginning of the season that we were going to see them in the finale. I have less of a feeling that that's true, but I feel like it still could be.
Yeah,
Um, but they aren't better than any of the four teams above them. So here we are.
yeah.
Who do you got fourth?
Fourth, going back and forth between two teams here. Let me look at the last one to see who finished better last time. Yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
go with the team that finished better this week and last week is higher. So Jet and Cord are gonna come in fourth here.
okay, this is where I thought we were going to disagree, but we did not.
It was them and Steve and Steve and Allie finished ahead of them this week and last week. So, like, what am I
Oh,
really
well,
supposed
we
to do?
might disagree at some point anyway. Jet and Cord, I have as fourth here as well. Um, I wanted to put them at third, but going to two wrong cities is kind of hard to argue.
Yeah. And you know what? Now that I think about it, two and three might be changing on the fly. So we'll see.
Okay, well, three. Give me your three.
Three was going to be Steve and Allie, but you know what? They had their car problems. They forgot to do a challenge and had to take the time to go back to it, and they still finished third. So they're going to finish
They
second.
forgot to do a challenge. What?
No, sorry, that wasn't them. That was Brent and Katie. But they had their car problems, and they still finished really well. So Carol and Brandy are going to be third here instead of them.
I had Carol and Brandy here. They finished higher than Steve and Allie this week by one spot, but I need to see
Yeah.
if this is going to continue or if they're going to go back to being a middling team.
I originally had them at second, but I think that was just like right after they finished. So I'm like, okay, this is like I was wrapped up in it. But looking back, like yeah, Steve and Allie are a better team.
Which means we both have Steve and Allie second
Yeah.
and Michael and Louie in first.
No one's on Michael and Louis' level right now.
No, not at all. I mean, you can't argue that.
It's crazy that they were like almost went home once or twice, and now look at them.
Yeah. All right, Bruce. On the fly, I'm doing something I want to know. We're down to six teams. Um, I want to know a prediction. What three teams will be running the finale?
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd be crazy to not put Michael and Louis in here. And Jet and Cord come back at some point, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to throw them in there.
Okay.
And there's always one team that I don't think is going to make the finale and does. So I'm going to throw a wild card in here and say that somehow, some way, Brent and Katie make it to the finale just to throw a shot in the dark.
Okay. Well,
The
I had
finale is
Michael,
never the top three teams.
right. I had Michael and Louis, Jet and Cord, and Dan and Jordan as my third team.
Yeah, that'd be a surprise also at this point.
So we'll see which one of us is more correct. It's going to come down to Dan and Jordan or Brent and Katie.
Yeah,
But I guess we'll have, I mean, time will tell on that. Bruce, do you have anything else to add from this episode?
I do not.
All right, so make sure you're checking out all of our Reality Realm coverage here um, between Tribal Council chat, between whenever New Generation Challenge podcast drops again, between um, Roundtable Talk. You can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. Um, give us some love over there. Buy Redbubble merch. And I say all of this as we wrap up. The world's waiting for you. Good luck.
Travel safe.
Go.